lovely jewelers, welcome to another video. Last week we spoke about selling your first 10 pieces of jewelry to mainly friends and family and how to get set up and started doing that so that you feel super confident about it. But obviously as we grow, we want to be selling to more people. So this week is focused on selling your first 100 pieces. So that's where we need to expand beyond the friends and family area, and these are the things that you need to consider and get set up and ready to help you do that. Also, make sure that you stick around right to the end of the video where I will be announcing the winner of the giveaway from last week, where I was giving away a free 1-hour session with me where you get to ask all of your questions about your jewelry business and where you're at right now. So stick around to the end to hear if you are the lucky winner. And the same thing will be happening again this week, so make sure to leave a comment and subscribe to stand a chance to win that session as well with me. Step 1, knowing your market. When we're starting out just selling to family and friends, that is a great starting point. But as we start to expand and we sell more and more pieces, then we really need to have a good understanding of who your target audience is. So where is your market? Where do they go? And this will lead on further into the later steps as well. So it's really important to get that really nice and crystal clear so that you will save time and money later down the line. It's important to consider things like their age, their gender, where they are they local or are they tourists, what kind of budget do they have, what kind of interests and values do they have. So it's really good to have this really nice and clear so that you can work with that. This will help you to get a clearer understanding of what they like so that you can create pieces that appeal to them. Step 2, participating in markets. So now that you've sold your first 10 pieces, you've sold to friends and family, it's really important for you to get out there and show your work to a wider audience. I know this can feel super scary, especially when you're just starting and you have the reassurance from friends and family, but putting it out to the bigger, greater world can seem quite overwhelming, and you might be nervous of their response, think that your prices are really high, you might not think, not be sure whether you priced them correctly. And I know that going to your first market can feel super overwhelming and scary. In fact, one of my students from the Consistent Sales Academy was feeling quite nervous. We had a good chat and, reassured her, got her set up with everything, made sure that she was ready with everything, and she sold 6 pieces on her first day at the first market that she ever did. Even though she didn't feel prepared, she felt very insecure about so many things, she went ahead and did it. So she embraced that fear and went ahead and did it, and she did really well. Not only did this give her some money in the bank, it also gave her a clearer understanding of her pricing, how people interacted with the pieces, and gave her a clearer understanding of the target audience and who was interested in her pieces. And this helped give her a little bit more clarity in terms of following through with new pieces that she was going to be making. Obviously, friends and family are going to all love what you do and they want to support you, which is great, but then out in the bigger world, that's where you get some real feedback and you see, right, is this a viable product? What are people thinking? Are they enjoying it? You might be surprised, and pieces you think are not actually great, people might be loving. So it's really good to go and put that out there and actually see what people are interested in. Likewise, if you go to your first market, you take the plunge and you do all of that and get set up and you don't sell anything, don't jump straight away to the conclusion that it's your jewelry that isn't any good. Maybe it's not the right market for you. Maybe everything else around you is priced really cheaply. Maybe it is just a case of doing a little bit more research for your next one to make sure that you are at the right place where the right people will be coming. So that's where understanding your target audience and your market beforehand is really step 1. And another great reason for going to markets is that sometimes shop owners go to these events and they might see your jewelry and think that it might suit their shop really well. So that leads me on to step number 3, wholesale to shops. Wholesale is a great way to get your jewelry out there and in front of a wider audience. So if you think about the footfall in the shop, if it's well located, then they're going to have people there going throughout the week, which is a really great way to increase your exposure. To get started, you might want to just start locally by looking in your area to see if there's any little shops or boutiques that you think might suit your work, and go over there, and maybe they might be interested, but maybe they don't buy it outright. Maybe they take it on consignment, which is often the way shops like to work to start off with, especially if you're a new designer. Before they go and buy something, if they're not sure if it's going to sell, they'll take it on consignment. They'll hold the pieces. They still belong to you, But then when they sell, then you'll get a cut and they'll get a cut, and you invoice them each month so that you can then get that started going like that. And then later, if they feel like it works very well, you can move towards buying the pieces. An important thing to consider though when starting to work with shops is your pricing. So make sure that you understand your markup so that you are covering your costs and you have enough money to reinvest back into your materials and into the business, because shops can take up to 50%, depends which country you're in, but this can often be quite high. But they obviously have their overheads that they need to take care of, and your jewelry will be seen on a daily basis, which allows you to continue making, spending time doing other things. So that is just an expense to consider and to take into consideration when working in that method. So make sure that you're very clear, because once you start working with shops, you can't go chopping and changing prices, because it's very unprofessional to have your jewelry priced at different prices in different shops and on your own platforms, wherever you may be selling. Which leads me on to step number 4, which is to invest in your marketing. This step's quite short, but it's just a really important point to take note of, is that when we start making jewelry and start selling it, it's really important to understand that we often need to spend money to make money. Because if we're just spending money on the materials and then we sell it and we get the same amount back in, then we aren't really allowing ourselves space to grow and expand. And often things that are important do cost money, and we do need to invest in those things if it's for the greater good and to help your business grow. So roughly, to explain this, how it should be done is the rule of thirds. So 1/3 is your cost, 1/3 is your profits, and 1/3 is for your marketing expenses, be that a commission from a shop or be that in terms of any other marketing you might be doing, such as participating in events or anything like that, or any other paid advertising you might be wanting to do later. So you have 3 separate parts to cover each of the 3 costs. Obviously, this is a very dumbed down version of pricing, and there's a whole video on that with a spreadsheet you can download so that you can do it properly. But essentially, the rule of thirds is a good way to think about getting started with pricing. And step number 5 is to keep growing and learning. And finally, stay up to date with all of the trends and things that are happening. You can attend workshops, conferences, get feedback from customers and from other fellow designer makers, so that you can continue growing your skills and feel confident that you are really engaged in your process. With time, you'll be able to sell your first 100 pieces of jewelry and continue growing and expanding from there. And if you need help with any side of the business, I do have an entire course with over 100 videos, which will help support you step by step throughout the way, and a fantastic community of like-minded jewelers that you can hop on and join if you're interested in that as an option. And now for the part we've all been waiting for, the winner of last week's giveaway for the free one-to-one session with me is Michelle Richmond. Congratulations, Michelle. Send me an email and let's get in touch to organize a time that suits you best. And I look forward to meeting you and hearing more about your jewelry business. And if you didn't win, but you're still super keen to stand a chance, I've decided to do it once again. So all you need to do is to drop a comment down below, subscribe, and that will enter you into the giveaway, which the winner will be announced next week at the end of next week's video. So make sure to join me next week, where I go over how to sell your first 1,000 pieces. Once again, thank you as always for watching, sending you so much love, keep making, and see you again soon. Take care, bye!